All right, so this is what it looks like on a J10. This is the lift kit on a J10 with a heavy front bumper and heavier frame and a winch. So you can definitely see that it sits a little bit lower than the Cherokee does, but everything else amongst the frames and everything is the same, so wouldn't want to have separate springs to account for that. So you're looking at about a 4-inch lift on a heavy truck with a winch and a steel bumper versus 5 inches on a Wagoneer or a Cherokee. All right, so today we're going to work on putting the rear lift on to take care of the saggy butt on the Cherokee. We just put the long travel front suspension on, so it's sitting at about 5 inches, and the rear only had a 2.5-inch lift on the rear. So we're going to put 4-inch blocks on the back. That's the less expensive way to do it, and you also get the original OEM ride. In the future, we're going to also offer a rear spring kit that will lift the rear to match the front. So let's get busy, let's put this thing together, get started. Okay, I don't know if you guys have the same problems that I have in the shop, but I am certain that this shop has black holes in it. And when you put a tool down, it disappears and then reappears minutes, hours, or days later. Because I mean, it's just impossible. I've gone everywhere. I'm looking for my electric ratchet. Can't find it. But this is the 4-inch lift block. And you're going to want to put the high side towards the front so that the pinion tilts up a little bit. That will help alleviate some of the drive shaft angle. And often these center pins, the old center pins have been in there forever and they are roached and rusted. So we're going to try to get this one off. If it doesn't come off, we're going to cut it off. So it's not coming off. We're going to cut it off. All right. Get my face mask. All right, and you see I've got 2 clamps on there to hold the leaf pack together. And I will now install the new piece, which is right here. All right, so there's the cutout that we put in to clear the gas tank edge. And we'll run the new bolt. And I bet you didn't know this. This is automotive trivia. I talked to an axle shop that I get my U-bolts from. And they said that these are they're not supposed to be grade 8. They're grade 5. And they're supposed to shear on a heavy impact so that you don't bend your axle. I kind of question that because I know if we're off-roading and beating on stuff that you don't want your center bolt to shear. So that's just something that you'll have to decide when you're putting your stuff together, whether or not you want to use a grade 8, which I think is a good idea, or the OEM fine thread bolt that's going to shear. Okay, so I'm going to have to cut some of this off so I can get it in between there. All right, so this is where we're at now. We've got this plate, which is our bump stop, bolted to the bottom of the frame using this pin. And then basically we'll just run our U-bolts up through the bottom to the top, cinch it down. I believe we're going to torque those down to 80 foot-pounds, and then you'll be good to go. All right, I'll go ahead and do that and you guys can watch. All right, so the U-bolts, they're just long enough, so get them started and then you'll be able to torque them down to basically 80 foot-pounds, 85, and then you'll be set. And I like to do a crisscross pattern. That way they can complement each other. Torque it down evenly between the square pad. And of course, keep an eye on the tops of the bolts so that they're all basically about the same depth. The nuts the same depth into the rest of it. That way you're not over torquing one side more than the other. Doesn't have to be exact, but don't get extreme. Okay, that's one. Two. Three. Four. There we go. All right, so that's one side. Look at this. Okay, that's what you should have. And then this bump stop here on the inside will contact that, and that is basically where it would contact anyway, because normally the bump stop makes contact on the axle housing. So now, instead of it being the axle housing, it'll be this plate. All right, not too hard to do, pretty straightforward. If you run into issues, some do, some don't. But you'll need to check your drive shaft length to make sure that there's no chance that the drive shaft will pull out. And sometimes once the axle's rotated with these blocks, sometimes the shocks don't fit. But in this case, that's not the case. But I do have a rear shock relocation bracket if that happens. Not included in this kit because it only occurs occasionally, depending on the vehicle. All right, we'll wrap this thing up and get pictures of it outside now that the front and the rear should be close to each other in height. All right, this is what it looks like with the butt sag eliminated. This is a 4-inch lift in the rear, and 5-inch lift in front. So you can see that it's basically evened out. These are 33 by 10-inch tires, BFGs, and I think it looks pretty good. The Cherokee is not finished. That's going to be my daily driver someday, maybe never, who knows. Things take a lot longer than they're supposed to. But I wanted to show that the lift can easily be done in your garage, in your driveway, in the sidewalk, in the dirt. Whatever it takes, whatever you have available, it's easy enough to do yourself. There's only one bit of welding, and that's on the transmission cross member for front end drive shaft clearance. Okay, that's what it looks like. Looks good. Rock Lawrence, VintageAutoParts.com.